Today, we're going to be talking about 7 myths about gout. Now, here are my credentials. I'll keep it very short. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse or a medical researcher. I am a person that was diagnosed at the age of 14 in the year 2000. So I have 26 years worth of gout history. I've had a surgery for it. I've been through a national medical trial. Without further ado, let's get into it. So the first one is very controversial. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I see this everywhere on YouTube. I see it sometimes on TikTok, on Facebook, everywhere, but mostly on YouTube. And I wanted to spell this right now. Number 1, gout is curable. Gout is not curable. It is known as the disease of kings for a reason. And if there was a cure, we wouldn't be talking today. So you can put your gout into what they call remission, where you can lower down your uric acid down below 6 mg/dl, milligram per deciliter. But in terms of even eliminating your gout, it's not going to happen. I've been through a medical trial with Crysvita. It was with Crysvita with methotrexate. It lowered down my uric acid levels down to 0. And basically that gave me like a hard reset on my body, but it did not cure my gout. The most expensive drug on the market for gout did not cure my gout. There's no cure. No amount of keto, no amount of supplements, no amount of anything will cure your gout. You could definitely get into a controllable region, but there's no cure. I'm so sorry about that. Number 2, if I hear another person give me this advice, I swear I am just going to lose it. Cherries will basically take away all your attacks, or cherries helped my husband. You should try cherries. Now, I'm not saying that cherries is not, something that's going to help you out. Cherries does have something within the chemical compound of the actual food that, does help with gout. Don't get me wrong. But in order for it to actually have an effect, you can't just have one, you can't have 2. You have to have like multiple bowls of cherries each day for it to, basically take at least a little bit of effect. And also sometimes, especially in my case, it doesn't matter if you eat multiple cherries per day, multiple bowls of cherries per day, it doesn't matter. Cherries just doesn't have an effect on me, and also on many people. Why? I don't know. But cherries is not the end all to end all. It definitely isn't going to cure everything. It isn't going to take away a lot of the side effects. If you are interested in doing the cherry route, which I totally, if you're new to gout and you haven't tried it, I would not waste your money on buying tons of cherries. What I would do is I would go to a supermarket, grocery store, maybe even Amazon, and purchase like black cherry tart juice. That's what I would do. With no sugar added, nothing, just black tart cherry juice. So that's what I would do. Talk to your rheumatologist, talk to your doctor about implementing anything into your diet that could potentially help with your gout, because cherries might be good for you, but it also might be bad for something that you might have another comorbidity. So just keep that in mind. Number 3, keto diet will cure your gout. I have seen multiple videos about this on YouTube. They have close to a million views, and people are making money off of this. And I find it to be atrocious, because keto is just like another thing, like the Mediterranean diet or, veganism or something like that. Will it help your gout? Sure, absolutely. It will help your gout. The number one thing that I want people to do, and I'll stress this throughout this video, is 100% talk to your doctor about this. Talk to your rheumatologist, your podiatrist, talk to your general doctor, talk to a dietitian. Because here's the thing, keto has a positive and a negative effect when it comes to gout. There's a lot of pros and cons. I want you to talk to your doctor, but keto is not the one diet that is going to be the end all to end all. Number 4, supplements will replace your allopurinol/Uloric. Now, this is extremely controversial because I'm seeing this all over TikTok. And TikTok affiliate program, they allow supplements to be sold on there. And supplements, just as you guys know, and I'll go ahead and put in some research into the description so that way you guys can check this out. Supplements are treated like food. They are not treated like pharmaceutical, like pills that you would take on your daily. So things like testing to lower your uric acid levels, testing to lower TOFI. TOFI, if you don't know what TOFI is, definitely do some, watch a couple of videos on my channel. I have a lot of videos about TOFI. But supplements are treated like food. They are not extensively studied, and they are not extensively scrutinized like pills, because pills can harm you. Food can harm you, but it's not as bad as like pills. So when I'm saying this, there are videos on TikTok that is preying on people that don't know about information about gout and how supplements are actually treated. There are videos on TikTok for people trying to sell these supplements, saying that if you take this liver and kidney supplement, it will fix everything. You don't have to take your Uloric or your allopurinol, which is absolutely false. The thing about it is that there was a major study that just came out, and I'll put this down below. There's a major study that just came out within the last year that if you have Uloric or allopurinol, and some might argue Cristeca, but the most common is Uloric and allopurinol. If you take one or the other and you keep your uric acid levels down below 6 milligram per deciliter, mg-dl, you are at 13% lower risk of heart disease and stroke. That alone should convince you to take that very small pill daily. And if you want to replace that really small pill with a big, huge supplement pill that you have to take every single day, talk to your rheumatologist, talk to your podiatrist. I bet you 100,000,000% that rheumatologist is going to say, no, keep taking your allopurinol or keep taking your Uloric or Flabusket or whatever they call it. They're going to tell you to do that because there is medical research and medical studies all around the United States, all around the world, that basically prove that you need to keep taking your preventative pills, your Uloric, your allopurinol. The reason why is because the moment that you stop it, you are at risk of basically getting into a heart attack, cardiovascular diseases, a stroke. You're also at risk of your gout being more frequent, and the severity of your gout attacks are going to be more. So it kills me. I wish there's a way that they can stop it, and I keep reporting these videos on TikTok, but a supplement is not going to replace your allopurinol. And if you're in that mindset that you don't want to be hooked onto allopurinol or Uloric for the rest of your life, you got to think, am I willing to take a small little pill that has so many studies, about it, or do I want to take a big horse pill every single day? Like, the math ain't mathin'. Let's just say that. The math ain't mathin'. A Uloric and allopurinol should never be replaced by a supplement. And if it is, that should be underneath the discretion between you and your doctor, not between you and a TikTok shop affiliate or somebody on YouTube trying to sell a supplement in order to replace it. There's a reason why supplements are not on TV trying to be sold as, hey, take this. It will replace your allopurinol or Uloric. There's a reason why it's not on TV. It's because the SEC knows at the moment that they see that and they don't have conclusive studies to prove it, they'll be yanked down and they will lose their business. But for some reason, they could do it on TikTok and YouTube. I don't know why. But consult your doctor. And I'm pretty sure your doctor is going to go ahead and agree with me that supplements are not going to replace your allopurinol or your Uloric. Number 5, gout is only in males. That is a huge falsehood, huge myth. So, but there's some things about this though, some nuances. Gout is more prevalent in males than it is in women. And the reason why is because men have testosterone or a higher amount of testosterone. And the reason why testosterone is a major for gout is because it's like feeding the beast. That's what it is. I don't know why. I'm not a medical researcher, but I know enough. I've done enough research to find out that when pediatric gout is studied, the reason why there is more boys that are diagnosed around between 10 to 14, 15 years old versus girls is because boys have testosterone, like a surge of testosterone, and that basically, is like a gout attack waiting to happen. Whereas girls, they have estrogen, and estrogen is known as like a blocker for uric acid. It helps facilitate uric acid leaving your body. It helps with the kidneys, all that kind of good stuff. So it definitely is, there's a reason why there's more males than females that are diagnosed with gout underneath the age of probably 50, 60 years old. Now, after the age of 50, 60, especially after postmenopausal episodes, and also when women are probably taking pills or going through a certain bodily change when their estrogen is being decreased, they are in risk of developing gout. And so that's when that kicks in for women later in life. But it is true that there are more men than women that are diagnosed with gout, but there definitely are women that are diagnosed with gout. In fact, there's a study, and let me see, this leads into number 6, but there was not even a study, there was a person that was found in China in 2023. She was 6 years old when this happened, 6 years old. She had 2 tophi deposits in her feet, and she had to get them surgically removed as young as 6 years old, and she was a girl in China. So these things do happen, they're just more rare. So this leads us into number 6. Gout is only for adults. Like I said, that really weird out of left field kind of scenario happen in 2023. But there's a thing called pediatric gout, and I'm a byproduct of that. I was diagnosed at the age of 13. A month later, I turned 14. But I was diagnosed young, just after puberty, like during puberty. And I went through my whole entire high school career, going through gout attacks left and right. Doctors didn't know how to handle that in the year 2000, going up to 2004. Within 1 year, in 2001, I had tophi in my ears and a couple of my hands. By the time I was 20 years old, I had to get a surgery in my wrist. So I don't know if you guys can see that. I still have a scar. It's like a lightning scar. But there definitely is a trend going on within the last 20 years that there is an uptake in young people being diagnosed with gout. Now, I did a video, I don't know exactly, I'll go ahead and put the link down below, but I did a video talking about the different stages of like gout, I think in the What is Gout video that I did. And there's 3 different stages. So there is just gout, and that's anyone that was born after, like 41 years old or older being diagnosed with gout, just like regular gout. It could be uncontrollable later on in life, but it's just like gout. Anyone 40 years old or under is early onset gout. Now, anyone that is 18 or under, that is called pediatric gout. Pediatric gout is not necessarily as researched as heavily as, let's say, early onset or even people that are diagnosed later in life, but it's still there. And it's the most aggressive and it is the most harmful because we have lived with this disease. I've lived with this disease, believe it or not, as much as I don't want to hype up this, but for a quarter of a century, 26 years of my life. And the amount of damage that it has done to my body, it has curled in my hands, deformed my hands. I can no longer, nothing that you can do unless they surgically went in, like took everything out and replaced it. My hands will never be flat again. I have tophi all over my body. The amount of tophi that's probably in my organs and in my back and in my chest and everything that I can't even see is probably astronomical. There was a study that was done in China back in the 90s where they studied bodies that passed away that did have gout. And they found that there was tophi in like their spleen, in their liver, and their heart. They were embedded in their spine. There was tophi all over. And the reason why is because tophi, which is uric acid, hyperuricemia, which is basically the overproduction of uric acid, has been linked to many cancers out there. So pediatric gout is very serious, but unfortunately the studies are just not there to really like alarm people. Unfortunately, I wish I can be the one that is sitting there on a hill with a big bullhorn saying, study us more, you can use my body to study. But unfortunately, I don't know, medical researchers and stuff like that, they make a lot more money off the people that are like 40, 50, 60, 70 years old than people that are in their teens and 20s. I don't know. But definitely there is gout in children, especially underneath the age of 18. All right, so this leads us into the 7th and last myth that I have for you today for this video. And that is you only get gout by bad diet. And I don't know how many times have I been told by people, oh man, well, maybe you should stop drinking your alcohol and, stay away from the meats, stop going out to fast food. And I'm like, yeah, you're totally right. At 13 years old, I needed to put down my pint of beer and just definitely stick to a vegan diet. When they find out that I was diagnosed at the age of 13, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know. And I was like, yeah. Just because I'm almost 40 years old doesn't mean that I had gout for the last couple of years and only for the last couple of years. I've had it since I was 13, 14 years old. There's a lot of us that did not get it by a diet. Some of us got it because we were taking a certain medicine. Some of us were taking it because, unfortunately, some people may have developed cancer. There's also, in my case, I got it because of my DNA. I got it passed down from my mother's side of the family down to me. So, unfortunately, and there's also many of my cousins that were diagnosed around the same time as me from the same side of the family. So having gout is not necessarily a byproduct of your lifestyle. It could be a byproduct of, your medical conditions. It could be a byproduct of your medication. It could be a byproduct of, family, linked to gout. It could be various different things. If you really want to figure it out, talk to your doctor, talk to your rheumatologist or your podiatrist, talk to your general doctor. They're going to figure out where that commonality is and probably help you out even further. If you have a lot more money, there are medical researchers that you can get in contact with, and they can take a look at your DNA structure and everything, and they can definitely figure out if there is something more genetic about it, and they can break it down to like a T, and figure it out. But those are my 7 myths about gout that I wanted to break. Hopefully you guys learned something. I know you guys learned something. because I learned something every single time I've been told one of these myths, and I had to figure out if they're true or not. So I know you guys got something out of this. I know you guys did. And because I know you did, go ahead and subscribe down below. Leave a comment about what you learned. And also, if you have been told something that sounds like a big myth, I would love to go over like a second video and discuss more myths. And thank you so much for being a part of my family and joining it. And I look forward to giving you more of a catalog and more of a community of videos to help you out with your journey with your gout. And remember, before I let you go, you are more than your gout, and you are worth something in this world. And you can get through any problem and any pain. And remember, you are needed here. You have a great day.